Dive into the world of modern quilting with a new beginner-friendly guide. Amy Latta has released Quilting for Everyone, which is her first quilt book, and she is back now to tell us all about it. So, Amy, congratulations. Another book for you. This is exciting. Tell us what we can find inside this one.
Sure. So if you've been following along with my book journey, you know the other books are about lettering and doodling. But this time I decided to write the book that I wish that I had had when I started quilting. So this one is really designed with beginners in mind, but it also works for people who have experience because the projects can be completed by anyone. But the front part of this book is really for the beginner, and it goes through and it explains all kinds of techniques and terminology and things that seasoned quilters might sort of just toss around and expect you to understand, but you're like, wait, what? So I know one of the things that made me avoid quilting at first was I thought it was a lot of math, which to be fair, it is math involved, but if you're following a pattern, I've already done the math for you. The other thing is I always thought I had to cut all the pieces with scissors and I was going to do a terrible job and it would be really hard. But there's actually things like rotary cutters and mats that you cut on and template rulers that you can, measure or you can trace around. And it's so much simpler than I ever thought. So the whole first part of the book is designed just to walk you through those basic things and to explain to you what quilting actually is. The quilting process is the part where you're sewing through 3 layers or more of fabric. So there's the piecing where you're putting together the pretty top, and then there's the quilting where you're actually going through a layer of batting and a backing. So it explains all of those things in a lot of detail. And then we get into 28 different projects. And I go sort of in order of the easiest techniques to the ones that are a little more complicated. And as you've come to expect from my books, there are still drawings. So for every step that you're going to take, I've drawn out a diagram for you because I know I'm a visual learner and I know there are a lot of others out there who learn by seeing. So I tried to illustrate things as clearly as I could. And I also tried to put a variety of projects in here. So yes, there are quilts, like you can see, this is a throw size quilt, but there's also a little phone pouch that you can do. There's a pillow right here. There's a stocking. There are all kinds of things like table runners and little things that you can hang on the wall. There's a table runner example for you in the patchwork section and another one that uses pinwheels. There's a denim jacket that you can embellish. I also embellished a hat. So in addition to those full-size quilts, you also have pillows and, little things that you can do in an afternoon. Because I know when I first started out, I did not have the confidence to make a quilt. All I had in me was the confidence to make a pillow. So I started there. And then as you build your skills, you feel more able to tackle the larger projects. So start with a tiny block on a hat. This is going to take maybe half an hour, and then you can work your way up until you're feeling confident enough to actually make your first quilt.
Amy, that makes so much sense, and it really is for everyone. Now, you're going to be doing a trunk show this Saturday. Can you tell us when and where that is happening?
Absolutely. And in case you don't know, a trunk show is kind of like grown-up show and tell for quilters. And basically what that means is I'm going to be showing a lot of the projects that are in my book, the ones that I actually made, as well as other quilts and things that I've created. So it's grown-up show and tell with your favorite quilters. And I'm also going to have books available there. They're going to have those for sale that I can sign. And you can, of course, purchase the fabric there. It's at Half Moon Handworks in Camp Hill, PA. And I'm doing 2 trunk shows. One is at 11 a.m. and one is at 1 p.m. It's the same exact show. So you're going to choose whichever one works better in your schedule. I know Saturdays are busy for folks with fall sports and things, but 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. I'll be doing the same trunk show. Books will be available for purchase and autograph, and of course, fabric available as well.
Sounds like a plan for Saturday. Amy, thanks a lot. We appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for having me.